My name is Jake. Welcome to the channel. A couple of weeks ago, I had a conversation with a subscriber, and the subscriber was telling me that, he was talking to a friend and trying to convince one of his friends to start learning about dividend investing and to start, taking his finances a little bit more serious. And he was asking me, well, Jake, what would you tell or what would you recommend to somebody that's new to dividend investing or trying to learn about it for the very first time? Now, obviously, there's a ton of content out there on the internet. I recall back, years ago when I was first learning about dividend investing, it was a little bit information overload. There was information everywhere on different blogs, different websites, different videos, and everyone seemed to have a little bit of a different approach or a different opinion of what was the right approach. And that kind of confused me in the beginning. And so I was thinking back on, what information would I recommend to somebody who's planning to live off of a dividend portfolio or planning to retire early with dividend investing? And then I was thinking a little bit more, and then, it came to me that there's really not one single YouTube video that I've made that encompasses everything, because there's so many different topics out there. And I think, this is not a 5 or a 10-minute conversation that you're going to learn everything. And that's what I realized when I started thinking to myself, okay, well, what videos could I share with him so that he can share with his friend to learn more about retiring early with dividend investing? And so I was doing some thinking, and I actually put together a playlist of 10 videos. And I want to walk through those 10 videos just to kind of give you a snapshot. If you're a longtime subscriber of the channel, you may have seen one or two of them, but I want to introduce and give a quick teaser for this video on all of these 10 videos and recommend to anyone who's trying to learn about dividend investing, or if there's somebody that where you're like, hey, you should check out dividend investing. Where do you start? Well, you could send them this video and then it will link 10 additional videos that they can watch for free. Now, all of my content is free. I don't have a Patreon. I don't have a course. There are 4 hours of content in this playlist talking about different topics around retiring early with dividend investing. Now, the only caveat there is you have to listen to my quirky humor over the course of those next 4 hours. So be that what it is. Some of you may kind of laugh inside when you hear that. Maybe you're new to the channel, maybe you're not. I am not your average YouTuber who does magic, who sells courses and tries to, make money here on YouTube. I just do this mostly because, I enjoy it. It is fun. I do make a little bit of money, but my motive for creating my YouTube channel was really to share and help new investors learn about dividend investing. Really, who I'm talking to is myself, 7, 8 years ago, when I first started thinking about passive income and investing. And a lot of the things that I share on my channel are questions that I had throughout this process of trying to achieve financial independence and retire early. So really quick about me, just to humanize who I am and my situation. My wife and I, we both live down in Austin, Texas. We have a little baby boy. He's little over, I think, what is he, like 20 months now? He's a little toddler. My wife and I, we both work full-time jobs. We were not fed with a silver spoon. We've had to work for everything that we have. My wife is from Northern Germany. I met her while I was studying and working abroad, living in Germany. We moved back to the United States, and we've been here in Austin for a handful of years. I'm in a very high stress job. I get paid very well for what I do, but it's a very stressful career, and I quickly learned that I can't do this forever. The stress from my job quite literally is going to kill me. I understood that a long time ago. And so what I've been trying to do is build up a passive income source, a dividend portfolio that my wife and I can one day fully retire off of and no longer have to work because we have to. If we want to do something, we do it because we choose to. So when you're first starting out and you're learning about dividend investing and retiring early, it's really important that you have a solid foundation, because if you don't, it can look a little like this.
You got this, buddy. No, he's gonna make it.
Train flexibility with me and reach your full potential in just under 10 days.
Oh my gosh. Okay, all right. So on my channel here, I created an entire playlist. The playlist is here down in the very bottom. I will leave a link in the top right of this video. You can click on that and you can see the links to every single video that I'm going to introduce in this video today, so that you can reference them should you want to watch them and learn about the topic more in detail in the future. So at the very bottom here, you can see all the videos that we're going to talk about, and I'm going to give a quick teaser to every single video, why they're important. And if you're first starting out learning about dividend investing, these are really, really important topics that you learn about. If this video sparks additional questions and you want to learn more about it, you can shoot me over a message on Instagram. Or you can leave a comment in this video, obviously, and I'll try to respond the best that I can. If you want to send me a personal message, you can send me a message here on Instagram, and I'll do my very best to respond. So the first video that I would recommend that you watch if you're first learning about dividend investing that I've created here on the channel is The Slow Path to Wealth. When you're thinking about this, if you're maybe in your early 20s, your 30s, 40s, 50s, and we'll touch on this in a second, age doesn't really matter. What you have to understand, if you're first starting out, maybe you just got your very first job and you're thinking about passive income, you have to understand that this is a slow path to wealth. This isn't something that you're going to get rich quick off of. You're going to hit it big and then all of a sudden you're going to be retired within, a couple of weeks, a couple of months. This is a long, in some cases, multiple decades out from way before you can actually reach your goal. So if you're going down this path, set your expectations and understand that this, retiring early with dividend investing is the slow path to wealth. The second video here that I would recommend that you watch if you want to learn more about dividend investing, this is probably one of the most important videos that I've made on my channel. When I was first learning about dividend investing, I would invest into high dividend stocks, high growth stocks, but I didn't really understand why and the concept behind it until I understood how to invest based on my time horizon. How I invest versus how somebody in their 60s or 50s invests is very different. But also, I want to make sure that everyone understands a 20-year-old can invest similar to somebody that's in maybe their 50s, based off of when they plan on living off of their dividend portfolio. So understanding your time horizon is so important. And if you don't understand that, I would recommend you watch this video. This is one of my favorite videos that I've made on my channel. The next video that I'd recommend is understanding the differences between investing into individual dividend stocks and dividend ETFs. Investing in individual stocks is not for everyone. There are definite pros and cons when it comes to both. And in this video, I break down the pros and cons when it comes to investing into either ETFs or individual dividend stocks. One big thing, obviously, is the amount of research that's going to go into it. With dividend ETFs, it's pretty straightforward. You invest into them, it goes pretty quickly. When it comes to individual stocks, there's a lot more research involved. And if you are going to invest in individual stocks, I'd highly recommend doing your own due diligence and research around them. Don't just go and follow other YouTubers. Actually learn for yourself why you invest into an individual stock. I personally use Seeking Alpha. They're a sponsor of the channel. I've been using them for years. If you want to sign up to Seeking Alpha Premium, I will leave a link in the description below. It'll cost $99. It's 58% off. But yeah, I can't recommend it enough. The next video here in the playlist is The Simple Path to Wealth. So this is where I talk about the differences between the traditional FIRE movement and retiring early with dividend investing. So many of you have heard, the traditional FIRE movement, with the 4% rule, you invest into the total US stock market. How does that compare to a dividend investing approach to reaching financial independence? In this video, I talk about the differences, and I would highly recommend this video just mostly to understand, kind of the differences between the traditional FIRE movement and retiring early with dividend investing. The next video here is what most dividend investors get wrong. Now, if you're learning about dividend investing, you're going to get kind of both sides of this. You're going to get people that love it and are like cult followers of the topic, and you're going to get others that are bashing it and hate on it. They use the famous words irrelevant, they don't matter, dividends don't matter, yada yada yada. In this video, I talk about what most dividend investors get wrong and why dividends are irrelevant when you're doing it, I guess, the wrong way. Okay. And so I break down the different reasons why dividend haters don't like dividend investing. And I kind of touch on the main points, but I go into detail when it comes to the total return. Every person that talks bad about dividend investing, they're usually quoting somebody else or somebody else's video. Oh, they don't matter, yada, yada, yada. The big thing is the total return. And if you're not focused on the total return, that's where you run into trouble. And so I talk entirely about that in this video. The next video is really just setting guidelines. So I mentioned earlier in the video that this is a slow path to wealth, that this is going to take maybe decades. Now, if this is going to take decades, you have to have a strong foundation. Coming back to that house on the water there, you have to have a strong foundation. You have to have guidelines. And I talk about the different guidelines that I follow when it comes to setting myself up for success. I'll just give you a few examples. How to construct your portfolio, automating your investing, what percentages to hold into one single stock versus, your whole portfolio. So really just guidelines to help you when you're first setting up your portfolio or first learning about dividend investing. The next video here is how to invest or how to use different accounts, like a retirement account, a taxable account. This is not my favorite thumbnail. The thumbnail is actually really ugly and confusing, but the content in the video is actually really good. So I get asked all the time, well, should I invest into a 401k, an IRA, HSA, individual account? How are they taxed? Yada, yada, yada. It can get very confusing. And so in this video, I break down the order in which you should be focusing, or how you could consider focusing on which accounts to prioritize depending on your time horizon, right? So a really, really important video. If you don't really know about your 401k, your IRA, your taxable account, and you live in the United States, this is a must-watch video to understand the different account types. The next video here is how to pay zero taxes in early retirement legally. You know how I mentioned earlier the time horizon video was one of my favorite videos that I ever created on the channel? This is my top 5 video, my top 5 favorite video that I've made on my channel. This video changed my perception entirely on dividend investing and the different types of dividend stocks, whether they be qualified or non-qualified. Now, if that all went over your head, that's okay. You can watch the video. But essentially, this is so powerful. This is top of mind for me right now, where I'm a couple years before I'm looking to, reach fire with dividend investing. For the first couple of years, we will pay zero taxes on our dividend income. And spoiler, I'm not talking about a tax advantage account like a Roth IRA. I'm talking about a taxable account. Okay, so if that didn't excite you or get you curious, I don't know what will. Maybe it's just a boring topic. But when you get closer to reaching fire, the topic of taxes becomes so important. And this is one of my top 5 videos that I made on the channel. And you will find out why after you've watched it. The next video here is health insurance and early retirement. This is obviously a boring topic. This video did not get a lot of clicks on my channel because it's a boring topic. Like healthcare, yeah, okay, who cares about healthcare? Healthcare is really important. It's one of the main things on my mind right now as I'm thinking about the next stages in our lives as we quit our jobs. It's those things that you don't really think about, but it's one of the most important things. Taxes, healthcare are so important when it comes to planning early retirement with dividend investing. And it's an absolute must watch if you're in the United States. Now, if you're in Europe somewhere or somewhere maybe where you have free healthcare, that's obviously going to be different. But if you're in the United States, healthcare has to be on your mind when you're planning to retire early with dividend investing. The last video here that I would recommend on the playlist is how to retire earlier, faster. Now, There's a couple different topics that I talk about in this video. I talk about the rule of 72, understanding different growth rates, because this kind of ties into the time horizon video. But this is so important. If you're thinking about, building a dividend portfolio, you have to remember the total return. The total return is the capital appreciation, that, what you see the share price go up and down, on Google Finance or Yahoo Finance, plus the dividend reinvested. Okay, that is your total return. And every investment, whether it be an individual stock or an ETF, has a different growth rate. Okay, and so it's important that you understand when you're, thinking about dividend investing, you're thinking about your portfolio, what investments to have in your portfolio. You have to understand growth rates. And that's why I recommend this video towards the end, to understand how that all ties together. So there's 4 hours of content about retiring early with dividend investing in this playlist. Now, this is not going to encompass everything. There's going to still be more things that you can learn when it comes to, retiring early with dividend investing. But the main topics here, I think this will give you a strong foundation when it comes to realistically thinking about retiring early with dividend investing. So I hope that this helps. If you have any additional questions or, maybe something's not clicking, leave me a comment below. I'll do my very best to respond to everyone. And also, if you want to send me a personal DM on Instagram, I'd be happy to connect with you there. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch everybody in next week's video.
You know what? I think we're gonna be friends. Can everyone say hi to my friend? That's crazy. I just wanted to say thanks. I'm glad you came along, partner.